My name is Deborah. Standing in my new apartment, watching the sunset paint the sky through the window, I can't help but reflect on the past year that changed my life. It's been a year since the accident, and so much has happened since then. A year ago, I was in a car accident on my way home from a long shift at the hospital. I was rushed to the emergency room, bleeding internally. I was terrified, not just for my life, but also for my 3-year-old twins, Mia and Ethan. I fumbled for my phone, my hands shaking, and called my parents. I just needed someone to watch the kids for a few hours while the doctors tried to save me. What I got in return was a text in our family group chat. "You've always been a pain. We're at a Broadway show with your sister, Stella, tonight. Sort it out yourself." Those words felt like a knife in my heart. I was alone, in pain, and my own parents couldn't even spare a few hours for me. From my hospital bed, I made a decision that would change everything. I called an emergency nanny service, paid triple the rate, and cut off all financial support to my parents. For 8 years, I'd been paying their mortgage, their health insurance, and covering all their emergencies. It all started right after I graduated from medical school. I grew up in a family where my older sister, Stella, was the golden child. She was 4 years older, charming, and had a dream of becoming a famous actress. When she announced her acting career, my parents were over the moon. They supported her every step of the way. When I said I wanted to become a cardiologist, my dad just said, "That's practical." My graduation from medical school was supposed to be a proud moment, but my parents were 2 hours late because Stella had an audition. They took a quick photo in the parking lot and left in a hurry. In contrast, when Stella had her first big play, the whole family flew to the city, stayed in a luxury hotel, and sat in the front row. After I graduated, my dad called me one day, saying they were short on money for the mortgage. I transferred the money without hesitation. But that one time, help turned into a monthly routine. I never said no, even when I got pregnant with the twins and their father left me during my 5th month. When I had a scary bleeding episode and called my parents for support, they said Stella was stressed after a play in another city and needed them more. But that car accident was the breaking point. After the surgery, which took 4 hours to repair my ruptured spleen and stop the internal bleeding, I spent 5 days in the hospital. Not once did my parents call, text, or visit. The emergency nanny service took great care of Mia and Ethan, and I realized that strangers were more reliable than my own family. 2 weeks after the surgery, I was at home, making breakfast for the kids when there was a knock on the door. It was Grandpa Henry. He was a well-respected retired lawyer with a sharp mind and a kind heart. He'd always been the voice of reason in the family. He told me he knew everything. Aunt Grace, my mother's younger sister, had told him. He invited me to his 75th birthday party, saying there were things that needed to be said. At the party, the whole family was there. My parents saw me and their expressions changed. Stella came over, acting all concerned, but I saw through her false sympathy. Half an hour into the party, Stella started spreading rumors about me, saying I'd gone crazy after the accident and cut off contact with my parents for no reason. My parents joined in, pretending to be worried about me. Just then, Grandpa Henry stood up. He said he had something to say. Before he could continue, my dad stepped forward, trying to defend themselves, saying I was going through a difficult time and spreading lies about them. But Grandpa Henry wasn't having it. He pulled out a folder with all the financial records of my transfers to my parents over the past 8 years. He started reading out the numbers, the mortgage payments, the insurance premiums, the emergency expenses. The room fell silent. He also read the text message I'd received in the ambulance. The room erupted in shock. My parents had no excuse. Aunt Grace stepped forward and said that what I'd done was more than what most people earn in 7 years, and I'd done it while raising twins and finishing my medical residency. I decided to speak up. I said I didn't come for revenge. I just wanted the truth to be out. I'd always believed my parents when they said Stella needed more support, but I finally realized that I was just a convenient source of money for them. I told my parents that I wouldn't be sending them money anymore. I needed space, and if they could truly acknowledge what they'd done, maybe we could rebuild our relationship. After the party, my parents left early. In the following days, the family dynamics changed completely. My cousins and aunts and uncles who had believed my parents' lies started reaching out to me, apologizing. The family group chat was deleted. My parents were quietly excluded from family gatherings. 3 months later, I got a call from Aunt Grace. My parents were selling their house because they couldn't keep up with the mortgage payments. They were going to stay at Uncle Tom's guest house, but they had to get jobs. Stella had lost a major acting contract because of the incident at the party and was now working part-time at a coffee shop. 6 months after the party, Stella called me. Her voice was small and full of regret. She apologized for everything, for the way she'd treated me and for laughing at my pain. She said she finally saw what she and our parents had done. I told her to stand on her own feet and be better. Now, here I am in my new apartment. There's no more mortgage payment for ungrateful parents, no more insurance premiums for those who called me a burden. Just rent, utilities, and a growing college fund for Mia and Ethan. Grandpa Henry has become a big part of our lives, taking the kids out on adventures every Sunday. Aunt Grace is not just family, but a dear friend. I've learned that love isn't a transaction. It shouldn't be bought with money and sacrifices. I'm finally free, and I'm ready to embrace this new chapter of my life.